Now, before we get into it, there's two acronyms that I want to share. Chances are you might have heard them before, but I think they are powerful examples of how we can shift our mindset. The first one is this. A lot of us are overcome with fear, and you're going to hear me talk about that today in the episode. That fear can grip us in a way that punks us out of everything we have coming to us and that we deserve. I want you to know that fear is an acronym that stands for false evidence appearing real. And if you can begin to tell yourself that when fear begins to creep in, you can eradicate it out. The second acronym is related to faith. Faith stands for forsake all. I trust him. And again, when you start feeling fear come on, if you can just overcome your fear with faith, if you can say to yourself, it's false evidence appearing real and forsake all, I trust him, you can be encouraged in the moment. Those two little tools can help to shift the circumstances in your mind and get you playing on a winning field. Now let's get into it. For the longest time, I secretly wanted more. I often found myself shrinking to fit in, settling for what was comfortable, and even selling myself short. Once I finally accepted that we deserve success and we are blessed with the power to achieve it, I stopped playing small. I'm serious about building a life I love, and you should be too. I'm Denise Taylor of DeniseTaylor.live, and welcome to Embrace Your Power. I help women prioritize themselves, their success, and their happiness. Now let's meet this week's achiever, whose story will inspire you to embrace your power and go. Well, hello there. It's Denise Taylor, and you know I'm always excited to have you join me right here each and every week on Embrace Your Power. Now, this is the place where you can count on me to always encourage you to build a life that you love without apology. For so long, we subscribe to other people's goals and agendas, but this is the season for us to rise and go after what it is that we want. Now, this is the place where we believe that God has not given us a spirit of fear, that he has given us power. And when we embrace our power, we truly can be, do, have, and achieve anything we want. Now, whether you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, maybe you're checking me out on YouTube, I want you to know that you are in the place to be encouraged with empowering words to help change your life. I want you to remove all doubt, to remove all fear, and to truly go after what it is that you deserve. For so long, I chased after whether or not I really deserved it. And I don't want anyone else to be held prisoner to those limiting and defeating thoughts anymore. I had to fight to get to the point where I could choose myself, where I could choose my dreams, where I could choose my vision, and I could set myself up to go after them wholeheartedly. And the way that I feel now is the way that I want every woman who secretly wants more to feel. Now, I wish I could tell you it was always this way, because it hasn't been. Usually people who come out of traumatic experiences lob onto things to help define them, and I am no different. I have a ton of trauma responses, and one of them was the fact that when I saw myself performing well and getting good nods based on things that I was doing, that kind of became how I defined myself and what I wanted. And I've made some mistakes. For sure, I've made some mistakes. But the thing that I try to set myself up to do is learn from them. And there is one truly embarrassing mistake that I have played back over in my mind a number of times. And I hope that I am never in a position to be as weak in faith, courage, and confidence as I was in this particular moment. And the reason why I've decided to share it is because it exemplifies how fear can be so paralyzing to us and rob us of our hopes, our dreams, and even things that we work for. Fear, as I opened up with, it truly is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. There's nothing real about it, yet we still sense it. We sometimes believe it, and we can be overwhelmed by what it represents. Fear is this uncanny notion that you don't deserve, you can't have, that you're afraid to take hold of, you're afraid to be, you're afraid to do. And I want all of us to never give way to fear again. That is one of the reasons why I made sure to incorporate it in the success superpowers. Number 2 is shake off fear. And it's there for a reason, because once we begin to see ourselves successful, we quickly go into fear mode. We start rationalizing, we start reasoning, we start thinking through, and we become fixated on ratcheting things down to what we are able to conceive, do, or handle. But in order for God to really show up and to show up big and strong, we got to make room for him in the vision that we set forth and how we see ourselves successful. So I'm going to share with you today this unfortunate circumstance that I brought on to me and my family simply because of fear. A little bit of it was because of ignorance, but I didn't look for help. I didn't look for answers. I just ran completely scared. The area of sensitivity for me was around security. It was around making sure that I felt stable, I felt secure, I felt covered, and that I had this sense of knowing how things would play out and how things would go. And so very early on in our marriage, my husband purchased a business, and he transitioned from being a full-time employee with the company to being a full-time entrepreneur. We had purchased a laundromat. He was running the laundromat. He was spinning up a towel service business, and he had relationships with different barber and beauty salons in the Milwaukee area where he was growing his business. Now, we had just built a home in a suburb area outside of Milwaukee, and we were there for just a short period of time. Our home got complete. Our girls were born. The thing that happened is going to sound so simplistic, but I was grappled with fear. So my husband had transitioned out of his job. We were current on all of our bills. My uncertainty, or my fear of uncertainty, was tormenting me on the inside because I just could not see us being successful in it. Now, this sounds really embarrassing because we were believers at the time, but I did not have faith that I could cling to see myself hopeful in God. And that is one of the biggest things that I think was amiss in this whole situation, but that's neither here nor there because fear won. So we had just gotten our house. We were there for a few years. My husband transitioned out of this role, and I tried to do it trembling, but inside it was eating at me. I was still working full time. So we had benefits. We had income, steady income coming in, but I was just completely scared because he was not working in something that I knew could turn a paycheck every couple of weeks. So end of the year comes around and our tax bill comes. And at the time, I am so embarrassed to say, I don't even think that tax bill was $1,300. The bill came, I saw it. And because I didn't have money immediately in my hands to pay it, we weren't behind on anything. But because I didn't have money to pay that bill, I was immediately scared. It made us run. Now, sounds really crazy, but I gave up our home. I gave it up because I'm sure my husband was not on board with that, but I was just kind of like, this is what we need to do, and really being aggressive because I was not comfortable. And so in his desire to make me more comfortable, he reluctantly agreed. And we put our house on the market, and we moved from our brand newly built 4-bedroom home to a 2-bedroom apartment because of a tax bill that could not have been any more than $1,300. Now, at the time, I didn't seek counsel. I didn't ask anyone questions about tax bills. I was so naive. I knew nothing about really owning a home. I knew nothing about what was really going on. All I knew is we got a bill that we were not in a position to pay, and I got scared. Now, in retrospect, it wasn't anything about the bill that scared me. It was that the bill fueled the fear. The bill fueled the uncertainty, and it made all that false evidence feel real, and it literally pumped me out of my home. I gave up my home, and I am so embarrassed to say that we moved into this apartment that was not clean. There was nothing cleaned about it. There were roaches. It was a horrible scene from what I took us from and took us to, as if we were in desperate straits over a tax bill. Now, before you judge the scenario and the situation, I think many of us have our own tipping point when it comes to fear. We throw in the towel. We sacrifice our vision. We sacrifice our goal. We sacrifice what it is we want to do because it's hard and we're scared about it. And one of the reasons why I am so passionate about us truly embracing our power, us truly understanding that God has not given us fear, but He has given us power, is because I know firsthand that fear robs us of everything that God wants to bless us with. When we do not check fear, when we do not recognize that it is false evidence appearing real, it will run rampant, it will steal, it will kill, and it will destroy because it is a chaotic fruit from the enemy. I want us to be empowered and really understand what God has given us to fortify us when it comes to fear. That is why the whole mantra of embrace your power and go is here. Not for that one incident alone, because I have had growing pains all throughout my life and career around dealing with this whole central hub of fear that was dwelling within me. But I am so proud to say that I can choose to be courageous now. I can choose to be courageous because I have taken the time to take the journey with embracing my power. Now, one of the things that's key about it, though, is I had to do some work. I had to deal with the stuff that was making the uncertainty and making the things that would allow me to grab onto fear tendencies go away. And they only went away when I was willing to do the me work, the work on me. Now, when we come back from the break, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my me work journey and how that journey is just the beginning stages in how you can begin to fortify yourself against fear. And again, before you laugh at my foolishness when it comes to our home, I want you to think about what have you forfeited because of fear. So I want to check in with this week's powerful nugget. I am often asked, Denise, what is the best way to start our day? Now, if you're in our Facebook community, chances are you see me in the morning time peeling off snapshots from my devotional. And the reason why that is because that is a huge element of my morning time. It helps me to get centered and to get focused. There are 3 elements I try to start each and every day with. That is with reflection, with gratitude, and devotion. I try to reflect. I try to be open, processing what is going on in my life. Are there shifts I need to make? Are there things I need to do? Are there decisions that I really need to sit before God with and allow to Him to speak to me on? Gratitude is so incredibly important to starting the day because it allows for you to think about those things that are good, pure, those things that are meaningful, those things that you value. I try to be very specific when it comes to gratitude, not just saying what it is, but why. And then finally, devotion. I have to give honor to God. The reason why starting the morning that way works for me is because I want to get off on a good foot. I want to make sure that I don't just jump into my day and not have properly prepared myself with the right mindset to get going. Having said that, that is one of the reasons why I designed Embrace Your Power and Go the way that I did. I considered my morning routine. I considered the aspects of mindset shift and reflection. And that is what you get when you look at what I have put in here for you to read each day. I considered the aspects of affirmation and how powerful it is when we speak it and we hear it, and how we can begin to change our mind. And the goal setting element allows you to bring that intentionality in. And so if you are still trying to figure out how to properly start your day, how to jumpstart it in the way that you can embrace your day, I want to offer to you the opportunity to get the book, Embrace Your Power and Go, and try it for 30 days. Try it as a part of your morning routine. And I believe that you will see some changes begin to happen in your life. And so this week's episode is brought to you by my new book, Embrace Your Power and Go, because I believe it can be a great resource to help you not only jumpstart your day, but change your circumstances and see and be the change you want to be. So MeWork is an acronym. I tried to name each of the steps with the letters M and E for MeWork, but it's an acronym that talks about some of the key areas that we have to address when it comes to pursuing and being courageous. So the first one is this: we've got to manage our entanglements. Now, when I talk about managing our entanglements, I am not talking about no threesomes. I am not talking about anything that has to do with what may be sensationalized in the news, because the true entanglement I had to deal with was one wrapped up in me, myself, and I. See, I had all my foolishness going on with me, myself, and I. As you heard, I gave up my whole house based on a bill coming in the mail. I gave up a whole opportunity based on being scared of uncertainty. And I had to work through all of that in order to get to the point where I could really serve effectively. I had to get to the point where I was willing to let bygones be bygones and refuse to allow my past to remain a grip or hold on who I am now and who I am to be. I was giving my past way more power than it deserved. I had to shake off the mistakes. I had to shake off the hurts. I had to shake off all of the dumb decisions. And I had to remember what I've talked about many times before, that what happened to me did not ruin me. I had to manage those entanglements. I had to minimize eavesdropping. And what I mean by that is I had to get out of other people's business, and I had to keep other people out of my business. I know that success is not a solo act, but it is a personal journey. And we cannot be distracted by what's happening in that next lane with those other people. Now, the fact of the matter is, outsiders are always going to try to infuse and distract. Haters are going to be haters. Frauds are going to be copies. Busybodies are going to stir the pot. All of that is going to remain to be true, but you have got to minimize your eavesdropping so that you can stay focused on your race. The biggest chatterbox talker is the enemy. And so you have to prepare yourself for whatever he's going to come at you with truth. That is why it's so important to saturate yourself with truth so that when lies come, they fall down to the face of truth. What is truth? What does God say about you? The next one is smash those exaggerations. Now, I didn't really have to worry about people making up things about me because I made up enough stuff about myself. I was really good at bad talking myself and thinking bad of myself. I was really trapped into that whole web of lies and false stories that I played over and over in my mind from me to me. And I had to smash that exaggeration. I was really good at saying I'm not good enough, that I don't belong, that they don't like me, I can't do it. All of the exaggerations, all of the lies, I was good at them. But the bottom line is, in order for me to embrace my power fully, I had to smash and crush those lies. I had to begin to say for myself, what does God say about me? I had to begin to think for myself, what does God say about me? And I had to saturate my mind until it became my story. I had to smash all of the lies. Now, the biggest one that I really get a kick out of is this, because I was really good at driving results and making things happen. But I really had to learn how to effectively manage my endeavors. I had to learn to work smarter and not harder. I was so good at making things happen that I got to the point of thinking that I truly could go it alone. And that is the biggest mistake. We need help. In fact, partnership accelerates progress, but strategic partnership accelerates success. Real empowerment, real guidance, and real answers come when you get real help. It's not about what you bring to the table, but when you tap into the value of wisdom and experience, you accelerate at such a pace that you never imagined. And this is by far a big regret for me. Because I felt like I could go it alone, I dismissed the value of bringing partners to the table. But I am so excited that I created what I love to call my own personal board of directors. And I'm not the CEO of that board, I'm the COA. I am the center of attention. Now, some of these folks are close and some of them are far. And some of them are free and some of them I've paid for, because I want to situate and position myself to have the best support that I need for the season that I am in. And the partnership that I have forged around me is helping me to rise and soar. And so I will continue to say that success is not a solo act. It is a personal journey, but you don't have to do it alone. And when you choose to do it alone, you are by far working harder than smarter. I have people who have joined me in many seasons to help me get to where I needed to be. And I'm going to pay homage to them in a few episodes to come. The next is you had to master your edge. You see, you have to be willing to go on these self-development journeys and experiences so that you can truly master your edge. Once you realize that it's not about a title, but it's about you and what you bring to the table in the most authentic way, you'll be willing to be a part of experiences that are going to help you grow. What's really crazy to me is I began to feel the most empowered when I was able to get past my trauma from my past. When I was able to let it go and have conversations with people who could help me sort through it, my edge got sharper because I wasn't being doled out by the experience that I carried as baggage for so many years. The me work is so empowering. It is extremely empowering, but it is a personal journey to take. Why do I bring all of this up? I bring all of this up because these are the factors that played into my fear. You see, it played into me thinking that I couldn't make it happen with the house because I couldn't see my way clear, that I couldn't make it happen to step into the role of full-time entrepreneurship, not even for me, but just for my husband, because I couldn't see my way clear. And so it's all of these experiences, as I look back on them, that have played into me telling you that the success superpowers make a difference in your life. I got stronger when I could see myself successful. I got stronger and more courageous when I could shake off fear. I got stronger, more courageous, and empowered when I could do the work. I got stronger, more courageous, and empowered, and more fit when I took care of me. I got courageous, stronger, more empowered, and more fit, and more committed when I held fast to my faith. All of those things are the superpowers that help me show up. And they're the very things that I want to help you do as well. One of the things that has been happening quite routinely, and it has come as confirmation to me as to my assignment in this season, is to be a mentor. You see, in the fall of 2019, God challenged me then to transcend success and be significant. And he has taken me on a journey to prepare me for this season. There are some that I know have been waiting for my voice, have been waiting for me to show up so that I can help them navigate through. And I am so excited about the mentoring experience that God is allowing me to bring to the table for you. And so if you know that you want to be a part of the mentoring experience with me, I invite you to go to powerplaymentor.live and sign up on the wait list. The program itself will kick off for the months of July and August, and I'm going to spend the next few weeks talking about it more so that those who need to be a part of the program can be. But it will be a 60-day journey that we will take together that will truly help you jumpstart your success story. And what I'm excited about is that I get to be a part of your success story, a part of how God is going to bring to life your experience and allow you to be courageous in ways you never imagined. Now, I'm always glad that you connect with me here. I am always glad that you make Embrace Your Power a part of your listening routine. But I ask you that if you know somebody needs to be tapping into this and be connected to us here, share this episode with them. And by far, if you haven't done it already, please rate and review the podcast so that other people who can be encouraged and be a part of what we're doing here at Embrace Your Power. I look forward to seeing you next time. Well, that's it, beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Don't ever forget that you are truly blessed with life, love, and all the happiness your heart can hold. Be relentless in building a life you love without apology. I'm Denise Taylor, and you can always find me in our free Facebook community. It's Embrace Your Power. Easy to find. Now be sure to rate and review this podcast and share it with a friend. And make sure you subscribe so that we can stay connected each week. And remember, God has not given us a spirit of fear. He gave us power. So be sure to always embrace your power and go.